Hi guys, I'm Blessing and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be talking about teaching in Korea, the requirements and the steps it takes to get here and what you have to do when you eventually get here. Number one, to apply to be an English teacher in Korea, you need to be from these countries: New Zealand, Australia, the UK, the USA, South Africa, Northern Ireland, and Canada. Those are the countries that will allow you to get the E2 visa, which is a visa for an English teacher in Korea. Unfortunately, if you do not have citizenship of that country, a passport, or proof that you've been in English education, then you can't apply to be an English teacher in Korea. As far as I know, I don't know if there's any other differences or changes. Also, a requirement is that you need to have a university degree. So most of them are asking for 4-year degrees, which applies to people in Canada and the US, or the equivalent, which is a 3-year degree like I did in the UK. You need to have a degree. You also need to have a TEFL certification. I think a minimum of 120 hours. In this time of COVID-19, it is probably going to be hard for you to do an in-person class. But even without COVID-19, I got my TEFL course online. I think I did about 120 hours online, and then I was qualified after maybe 2 months. But I think if you study really hard, and I think you can finish it in about a month. You need to be from the countries I listed, you need a university degree, and you need a TEFL certification, okay? Once you get that, then you can start the process of applying for jobs. The job application process can be quite disheartening at times, because I remember sending loads of emails and reaching out to tons of companies, sometimes not even getting a response back. The website that I used was Dave's ESL Cafe. On that website, they have loads of job postings, so you can contact the email that's usually attached with the job posting. It's usually connected to a recruiter. I think sometimes you can apply directly with a school if they have posted that they need an English teacher and it's directly with the school, but most of the time it's through a recruiter who will go through the job openings they have and help you get an interview with the school. You should ask the recruiter what the reputation is like and how many foreign teachers they have placed in certain areas. Now, that is in the case that you want to work in a private school, also known as a hagwon. But with EPIK, which I also applied for but chose to go with a private school, it's completely different. You do have to fill out a long application. You still need your university degree and to be from those countries that I listed, and a TEFL certification. But on EPIK, I think it's English program in Korea. It is funded and ran by the Korean government. The thing is with EPIK, they can place you anywhere in Korea. So you could end up being in a rural village or just some place that you don't know. I know a lot of people want to either be in Seoul or Busan, but to get a job in Seoul or the general Gyeonggi area, you need to apply for SMOE within EPIK, and with that you could be placed in the Seoul area or the Gyeonggi-do area. There's less jobs in Seoul. So you've applied for a job and you've got an interview. And the interview process is very nerve-wracking because you want the school to like you. But what's important is that you also like the school. Sometimes people think that coming to Korea, especially if you like it, it's going to be easier. You're going to come and get a job and just work and play. But teaching here is not the easy option. It actually is quite difficult. I think people need to realize that before they do want to come. If something that you really want to do and you are interested, even if it's not your chosen career option, but you are interested in exploring Korea, but also still having a job and wanting to educate children, I think this is a great opportunity for you. But as I said, it's important that the school like you and you like the school.
Yeah, give and take.
Because I think you can get quite caught up in the whole idea of, oh my god, this is an interview. But there are things you need to check up on with a school. Things that are very important. First important question to ask is, how far is the accommodation from the school? I think Maximum, your accommodation should be 15 minutes away. Maximum.
Period.
Anything over that is completely ridiculous and unfair, because a lot of schools should be placing their teachers in accommodation near the school. Number 2 is to do with accommodation. What does the accommodation look like, and can I see photos of it? Even though this can be a risky question and it can get risky results, because they can send you photos of your accommodation, but it may not end up being your accommodation. The school could either change their minds of where they want to place you, or that's what the accommodation looked for previously. Number 3 is, what do my working hours look like? You want to know when you officially start teaching, what breaks you have, how many teaching hours per day, how many teaching hours per week. Number 4, what is the relationship between teachers at your school like? That is a very important question, I feel, because if you're going to a work environment that's quite toxic, gossipy, bitchy, it's going to make the job so much harder. Especially if people are immature and don't speak to each other, you're not going to be able to teach your kids effectively, because you don't know who's in this class, what curriculum you need to do, all sorts of things. So I think it's good to ask, especially between Korean teachers and foreign teachers, because you need to work together. Even if it's just your co-teacher, you need to know that everything is civil and you're able to go to work and just do your job. You shouldn't be stressing about work relationships. You should just be going to work and do your job. Jobs can be stressful, but they shouldn't be too stressful. Number 5, Saturday work. Ask about Saturday work, because I'm against it. I don't think anybody should be going to work on Saturday. Why am I working 6 days a week? It doesn't make sense. Ask, hi, I want to be a teacher at your school. Is there any Saturday work? The question is important, and the answer should be no. There is no Saturday work. Also, number 6, ask about holidays. What do holidays look like? When you're a private school teacher, you get, I think, 5 days in summer and 5 days in winter, and all the national holidays. You should be getting the national holidays. If the school were like, oh, some national holidays you have to work, ixnay on the ox. Do not even consider going to that school, okay? And number 7, ask about prep time. How much time do you get to prep for your lessons? It should be a considerable amount, because especially if you teach multiple classes, in the school I teach morning kinder and afternoon elementary, and you need enough prep time to get things sorted for your morning kinder and enough prep time to then continue your afternoon and teach those afternoon classes. Yeah, those are the important questions. Congratulations, you got the job. And your school sends you your contract. You need to read that contract thoroughly. Send it to your mum, send it to your dad, send it to your friend, send it to a lawyer. Make sure that everything in the contract is right, because as soon as you sign it, you send it and you start working, there is nothing you can do because you have signed the contract. So if they took the piss in the contract, they're going to take the piss in real life. Questions that I said are important are the same questions you need to be asking yourself while reading the contract. You need to look at the contracted hours you're supposed to work, pay, and how you will be paid. If you're not part-time staff and you're not in a 0-hour contract, you should be getting your salary. Now, because of COVID-19, salary can be reduced, minimum 70%, especially if you're doing online, but some schools like to use the excuse that some parents aren't paying, so they won't pay you, like, fully. That's one I've heard a lot. Check about the accommodation, what bills you have to pay and what is provided in the apartment. Minimum should be a desk, a bed, a washing machine, a stove, a fridge, and a wardrobe, I think. Those are the things they should be providing. Sometimes schools provide TVs, but that's not a bare necessity. That's not something that's necessary, and that's not something that all schools will provide. When you apply for your visa, if you've eventually got a job, you will need a lot of documents. You need to get your university degree certificate notarized. You need to get a criminal background check, and those results need to be notarized. I can't remember what else you need to get, but there's a lot of things you need to get, especially for Epic. Epic requires more documents than you would need if you got a job in a private school. Okay, so you're on your way here. You signed the contract, you bought your plane ticket, and now you need to pack. Now I am going to be debunking some packing myths. First of all, they do have deodorant in Korea. They do have normal toothpaste. They have whitening toothpaste. So people saying that they don't, it's a lie, okay? Clothing, you are able to find clothing here. If I am able to find clothing here, you are also able to find clothing here. Shipping is also available. I buy from ASOS all the time. It's possible here. Is express shipping £20? Yeah, but we don't need to talk about that, okay? You can pay standard and wait a month, but you know, each to their own. But if you are someone who is from a different culture, different ethnicity, for example, or nationality, for example, I am Nigerian, so I didn't bring anything. If you are someone from a different ethnicity or nationality, for example, I am British, so I did bring my Tetley tea. I bought 2 massive bags of Tetley tea because I can't survive without my cup of tea every day. That's me. But if you are someone, and I'm also Nigerian, so my dad actually did send me my food. He sent me pounded jam and gari and some plantain crisps because plantain is life. But there are some stores where you can get certain things. Like if you're Nigerian, there's a shop in Itaewon that sells things like pounded jam and gari. I think if you're Indian too, they sell things like the things that Indian people may use to cook. Is that the way to phrase it? I'm sorry if it's not. I'm sorry if I've offended anyone. But you should probably pack some of the foods that you probably won't be able to find in Korea. I think you should bring some or eventually get some shipped over to you. Remember to pack for all seasons. Contracts usually start in March. When you get here in March, it's usually spring, finishing on, I think, winter. In January and February, it's actually been quite cold. So March, I think, we'll just be transitioning out of that. And then March, April, May, then you're going to be in summer and then back in autumn. So I think you should bring enough for those seasons, and then maybe you can buy more once you're here in Korea. Once you get to Korea, you may need to set up a phone line and a bank card. Now, with the phone line, I used Trazy's temporary SIM for like a couple of months. I just kept on topping it up until I actually got a phone contract here. And your bank card, my school helped me set up my bank card, but I'm sure you just go to the bank with your ARC. Now, an ARC is an alien registration card. It's something that every foreigner with a visa who is living in Korea needs. It's how they help identify you, like if you want to get a contract or really do anything, you do need an ARC. So to get the ARC, you go to the immigration office, you apply, you wait for a couple of months before you actually get the card, and then you have it, and then you can do things like get a proper phone number, order online. The ARC is really just the answer to everything. Also when you have a proper phone number, you can use the QR system to check into places on Kakao Talk. Also, in terms of accommodation, you do not have to stay in the accommodation the school provides you if they offer money. If they say provided accommodation or 400,000 won worth of accommodation money, you can take it and put it towards renting another place. But to rent a place in Korea, you either have to put down a hefty deposit or pay a lot monthly. But that is up to you. And you shouldn't have to move if your accommodation is near your school. Okay? You should not be traveling 40 minutes to work every day, sometimes getting 2 to 3 buses. You shouldn't be doing it. I'm talking about me. I travel 40 minutes to work every day and 40 minutes back at night. A girl is tired. It's me again, the crazy one. Hi everyone, thank you for watching. Also, please mind the rubbish. Okay, I feel like every time I'm filming something, there's like rubbish on my desk or just like rubbish on the floor. I am preparing to move. So I am moving. So I am packing and getting rid of a lot of rubbish. And I just didn't move that out of frame because quite clearly I don't know how to film or do anything nice. But please ignore it. I am not dirty. I am clean.